Hi, thanks for joining me today for this introductory video. My name's Phil Parkinson. I'm the Level 3 Course Manager for Public Services, and today I'm going to be covering a unit that I teach called fitness testing. So fitness testing is really important for a variety of reasons. It allows you to identify your current levels of fitness, and it allows you to compare your fitness levels to those expected of you in a public service of your choosing. So on the course, we allow you to gauge where you're currently at, and we allow you to understand how you need to get to where you want to be by setting SMART targets and by working on a 6-week training program. Hopefully this will allow you to achieve your goals or help you to understand what you need to do to be able to get entry into the service of your choice. So that's fundamentally why you are on the course, because you have a genuine interest in a public service and you want to hopefully achieve your goals of gaining entry into that service, and we want to help you achieve them goals. So fitness is a key component of any public service and a healthy lifestyle to boot. So it's important that you really understand about where you are currently at with your fitness. So today we're going to look at the Army in particular for a number of reasons. One, it's the most rigorous testing that you will take part in. Two, it's quite a popular career path for a lot of students that come to Reaseheath. That doesn't mean to say that it's the only thing that we focus on. So please don't be discouraged or think in any way, shape or form that we are very military focused, because we certainly are not. However, we will help you achieve them goals if that is your aim. So if you can pass the Army fitness test, it's very likely that you're going to be able to pass any of the public service tests required of you when you go for your job. So as I said, we're going to focus on the Army today. There are a multitude of different tests within the Army. So you have entrance requirement tests. So that's what we're going to look at first and foremost. They are made up of cardiovascular endurance and strength tests. The first test is a distance run, where you would be expected to cover 2 kilometers in a time of 11 minutes 15 seconds. You would be expected to perform a seated medicine ball throw, where you would throw from your chest a 4 kilogram medicine ball over a distance of 2.9 meters. You would get 3 attempts at this. You would then perform a mid-thigh pull to demonstrate your lower back strength. So a deadlift to you and me. And you would be expected to pull 46 units for 5 seconds, holding that 46 units for 5 seconds, and you would get 2 attempts at this test. Like the medicine ball test, your best result would be the one that the service look at. So as I said, we cover a multitude of different fitness tests, and as you can see behind me, there's some equipment there that I'm going to demonstrate some of the other tests. So whilst we're looking at the Army, I will demonstrate the water can carry, which is an annual test that they expect you to perform, and the vehicle CASEVAC test that they expect you to perform whilst on the job. Now these annual tests are obviously in place to make sure that you can perform the job role that you have chosen to gain employment in to the best of your ability whilst in service. So as I said to you before, I'm just going to demonstrate a couple of the exercises or tests that you would be expected to perform to be able to gauge where your current fitness levels are at for the particular service. So obviously we're going to be focusing on the Army at this present time. I've also got a couple of other pieces of equipment to demonstrate some of the other tests that you would take part in whilst on the course here at Reaseheath. So we're going to look at the vehicle CASEVAC test for the Army. So we've obviously got our podium set up here, where we've got 2 benches that we're going to use to demonstrate your ability to lift 70 kilograms and hold that weight for 3 seconds. So again, health and safety is paramount. You will obviously do a suitable warm-up before you would take part in this activity, and we would do all the other checks that are necessary to make sure that you're able to take part. Obviously, if you want to join a public service, the fitter you are, the healthier you are, the more accessible them services become to you. So we don't discriminate, we won't hold you back from taking part, or we'll obviously be very mindful of things you can and can't do. But if you are able to take part, these are the types of tests that you will be expected to have a go at whilst on course to gauge your current levels of fitness. So this is obviously a strength test. So again, very carefully manoeuvring up to the bench. It's important that when we take part in this test, we adhere to the correct health and safety measures that need to be put in place. So what I've got here is 70 kilogram weight attached to a battle rope. So very similar to what you would be doing in the test in the public service. Obviously, we don't have all the equipment that public services have, but we have very specific equipment that we can use to make relevant to pretty much all the tests that you will be taking part in. So you can see here I'm in a studio, so this is one of the facilities that you would use whilst taking part in fitness testing. So on this test, you're expected to bend your knees, keep your back straight, kind of like a deadlift, and then ideally you're replicating being able to pull somebody out of a vehicle weighing 70 kilograms in weight. You're expected to hold this weight for 3 seconds. So I'll quickly demonstrate that for you now. So with the knees, pushing through the heels, keeping the back straight. 1, 2, 3, and slowly down. So that is your vehicle Kazibat test. Okay, the next test that we will be able to demonstrate, obviously I've got 2 water cans in my hand, so this is the water can carry, another annual test that the public services use. You're expected to carry 2 22 kilogram water cans over a distance of 240 metres. You need to be able to cover this distance in 4 minutes. So outside, we would normally do this test in the sports hall. We would measure out the distance. So obviously 240 metres is quite a distance. You would normally be walking up and down at such a pace until you have covered the distance in the required time of 4 minutes. So it's not normally the distance or the time, it's the ability to hold that weight and continuously walk with that weight for that amount of time. So a lot of people want to run and get it over with, but you must walk with that weight. The next test that we expect you to take part in, to give you a realistic idea of your current levels of fitness for a life in the army, is the repeated lift and carry. So you would have power bags such as these, weighing 20 kilograms in weight, and we would mark out a distance of 30 meters, and you would lift the 20 kg power bag, you would run the distance of 30 meters, put the power bag down, lift it back up, run back for 30 meters, and you would do this 20 times over. You would be expected to cover this in a time of 14 minutes. So there are a number of other annual checks and tests that you could do in the army. There's 6 tests all in all, but there's just 3 that we would expect you to have a go at so you could see where your current level of fitness is in that quite demanding environment. So if you can pass those types of tests, then you know you're not going to be far away with the other fitness requirements and public services. So again, behind me here we've got the back strength dynamometer, something that's used in the NHS and people who want to become paramedics. So we will check your back strength using that piece of equipment. We've also got the hand grip strength dynamometer here, which is used for pretty much all public services, but mainly focused on in the prison service and the police service, where you obviously need to show the ability to restrain people and have a degree of hand grip strength to be able to do this. We also require you to take part in cardiovascular exercises, such as the ones you've looked at there with the repeated lift and carry. But the bleed test is obviously a major fitness test that's still used in an annual check in pretty much all public services, and a distance run. So I hope that gives you a little sense of some of the things that you'll be using whilst on the course and an idea of expectations that you would be expected to have a go at whilst here at Reaseheath. As I said, we don't discriminate on the course. We expect everybody to have a go. So if you have any ailments that stop you from taking part for whatever reason, injury or illness, obviously there will be no pressure from the tutors, but we do expect people to come and have a real good go at anything we ask you to do, because that's in the spirit and the ethos of all public services. So I hope you've got something from these introductory videos and you can take something away with you, and hopefully you will be joining me in the next semester here at Reaseheath. Thanks for your time.